What's up, everybody, and welcome back to CUNYAC Winter Feature. With winter sports canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we here at CUNYAC are spotlighting student athletes once a week during the winter semester, highlighting their accomplishments, talking about their experience at the collegiate level, and what they've been up to over the past year in 2020. I'm your host, Eldridge Chavez. You can catch the CUNYAC Winter Feature every Friday here on our website, CUNYathletics.com, and on our YouTube channel, CUNY Athletics Conference, as well as on our social media feeds by searching CUNY Athletics. If you missed our last winter feature with York Cardinal swimmer Anthony Rosario, please go give it a watch. We spoke about his passion about being a phys ed teacher, his time interning at the Reach Swimming Academy, and what it was like traveling cross country during this pandemic. And finally, this episode of the winter feature is brought to you by HSS, Hospital for Special Surgery, but we'll talk a bit more about that later in the show. Now, sitting with me today is a senior from John Jay College. He is the starting guard for the men's basketball team. He helped guide the Bloodhounds to a 20-7 record last season with a 13-1 mark against conference opponents. He's majoring in sociology with a minor in biology from Staten Island, New York. Please welcome the Bloodhound guard, Romello Ford. Romello, what's up, man? How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thank you for being here. I really do appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Let's just jump right into the question. First one, really easy. This is new. I didn't know you were a transfer student. So you started your collegiate career at Dominican College, but then you decided to transfer to John Jay. What made you decide to study there?
Well, when I first visited, it definitely felt different than like other schools that was visiting. I felt the family culture they established just by the way they were interacting with each other. And when my family and I spoke to Coach Highland,
Yeah.
we got to hear his vision, what he wanted for me, what he visioned in the near future. Um, and now 2 years went by. I'm about to graduate. It went by so quick.
That's awesome. Do you remember,
Yeah.
exactly what he said to you? Like, what was it that kind of caught your attention? I was like, you know what, I'm coming here.
Um, just the way, just the what the stuff that he expected from me. Like it was something that I never heard from a coach. Like he was so genuine.
Yeah.
Uh, it was just down to earth. Like he didn't
Okay.
really put yeah right to the point.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So you're majoring in sociology with a minor in biology. Uh, what do you want to do with those degrees?
Well, visually, going into college as a freshman, I always wanted to be into the medical field.
Okay.
At Dominican College, I was studying athletic training. Obviously, John Jay didn't have that, so I
Yeah.
went a route of just doing the bio degree, bio minor. So hopefully get into that medical field path just to get me in, and then hopefully get into a graduate school.
Okay. Um, all right. That's awesome. So you mentioned graduate school. Do you have one in mind just yet, or is that in the near
Not
future?
yet. I'm still looking for I'm still actually researching on a couple of schools, but definitely in the process of
Okay.
picking one very soon.
All right. Cool. Cool. Good luck with that. Hopefully, you'll find the right choice and you'll be on your way getting your master's degree and working in the medical field. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
We spoke privately before today. You mentioned you're the oldest of five siblings. Um, how important is it for you to kind of like set the tone, to set that pathway almost, and be that role model for your younger siblings and just dictate the expectations of being a college graduate.
Right. I feel like it's very important for me to be a good role model because I know they look up to me a lot. I'm here to guide them in the right direction in everything they do. Um, and I know because everything they do, they'll eventually do in the near future. So, um, I mean, being that big brother, it's been a couple years now, but I'm pretty used to it. But it's no problem with me. Like anytime they call me, I'm there for
Yeah.
them. So stuff like that. So definitely want to see them succeed. As much as I succeed, I want them to succeed. So
Okay,
very
awesome. Yeah,
important.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm the youngest of my siblings, and having my older brother, my older sister, kind of just navigate through college gave me a better perspective on what to expect, and the fact that you're doing that for your younger siblings is definitely going to be a tremendous help for them when that time comes.
Right.
Uh, All right, so let's talk about your time at John Jay. You mentioned you were there for 2 years. Um, what sort of takeaways will you have after you graduate from John Jay College?
Um, well, yeah, this is going. I'm into my third year now as a senior. Like I said before, it went by so quick I can't even picture that. But I feel like I've been here longer.
Yeah, it
But the
feels that way,
friendships
yeah,
I
for sure.
yeah, the friendships I built here at John Jay is like they're most likely going to be one of the friends I'm gonna have for a very long time.
Hmm.
We clicked right away. I had no problem with nobody, faculty, staff, especially my teammates, other athletes in the building. Um, so yeah, just simple as that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So you're the starting guard for the Bloodhounds.
yeah.
Um, is there any other sports or maybe any other hidden talents that you have that we don't know about?
Um, Other than basketball, I used to play football, and then
Okay.
like around middle school,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, I was I was pretty good at it, but I got to the point where I had to decide because the schedules would conflict.
Hmm.
Um, and I would just have to, yeah, I had to play basketball. That's where my heart was.
All right, awesome. All right, I'm glad you said that. You said that's where your heart's at. Like,
Hmm.
what specifically about basketball is that calls out to you? Like, what is it about that sport that drives you?
Um, it just I feel like a lot of what basketball, not even just basketball, a lot of sports. Like I realized as I got older, like it really translates into the real world. Um, Team leadership
Mhm.
skills, working hard, work ethic, not feeling like you're too like better than anybody else. Like you're putting that work in because whatever you put in, what will come out of it. And that's why I really got out of basketball. Me, 22 years old now, so I feel like it definitely does translate into the real world.
Okay. So, in your 2 seasons as a Bloodhound, John Jay has made the postseason both years. Last season was the best in the past 16 years. Can you talk about that season as a whole and what takeaways do you have? But, Romello, before you answer that question, let's just get a word from our sponsor. The CUNYAC Winter Feature is brought to you by HSS, Hospital for Special Surgery. HSS is the world's leading academic medical center focused on musculoskeletal health. At its core is hospitals for special surgery. Nationally ranked number 1 in orthopedics for the 11th consecutive year, number 4 in rheumatology by US and News World Report 2021, and named a leader in pediatric orthopedics by the US News World Report Best Children's Hospital List 2020-2021. Founded in 1863, the hospital has the lowest complications and readmission rates in the nation for orthopedics and among the lowest infection rates. HSS was the first in New York State to receive the Magnet Recognition of Excellence in Nursing Services from the American Nurses Credentialing Center 4 consecutive times. The global standard total knee replacement was developed at HSS in 1969. An affiliate of Weill Cornell Medical College, HSS has the main campus in New York City and facilities in New Jersey, Connecticut, and in Long Island and Westchester County regions of New York State, as well as in Florida. In addition to patient care, HSS leads the field in research, innovations, and education. The HSS Research Institute comprises 20 laboratories and 300 staff members focused on leading the advancement of musculoskeletal health through preventions of degeneration, tissue repair, and tissues regeneration. The HSS Global Innovation Institute was formed in 2016 to realize the potential of new drugs, therapeutics, and devices. The HSS Education Institute is a trusted leader in advancing musculoskeletal knowledge and research for physicians, nurses, allied health professionals, academic trainees, and consumers in more than 130 countries. Through HSS Global Ventures, the institution is collaborating with medical centers and other organizations to advance the quality and value of musculoskeletal care and to make world class HSS care more widely accessible nationally and internationally. HSS, Hospital for Special Surgery, the official hospital for the CUNY Athletics Conference. Now, back to our feature.
This past season was one that honestly I will never forget. We accomplished milestones that people would have never thought we would do. But after looking back on it, even though we came up short, what I can take from last season is that just never get too high or too low. Because at the end of the day, somebody's always coming for that spot, that top spot to knock you down.
Yeah.
If I was to do a year over again, I would definitely make sure that we remain like a unit. and try to make sure everyone remains humble, and have that mindset going into every game that we have something to prove,
Yeah.
honestly. Even as you're at the top, like, even though like we were regular season champions, yeah, I was excited, everybody was excited, but that's not really what the end goal was. The end goal was obviously winning the championship, and we came up short. Like I said, like what I would do differently, and what I took from that was just to remain humble and to just have something to prove every game. Because I know we went to some games knowing we were better than them
Yeah.
and came up short.
Okay. So I'm glad you mentioned that last season. They didn't end the way you guys wanted to. Unfortunately, you guys lost in the playoffs, in the semifinals against Brooklyn College, 55-57 in overtime. Can you talk to me about that game? I know you played basically the entire game from like beginning to end. Uh, so can you talk to me about that?
Yes.
And what do you think, whether it would be, next season, if there is a next season, obviously this season's canceled, but, next time around, what do you think John Jay has to do to get, take that next step?
Right. Um, well, first of all, I'm gonna start by saying that was one of the best games like I have ever played in, with that
Yeah.
kind of intensity and atmosphere. And that's what I really miss most about the season. The fans, especially the students that will come out each and every night to support.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. I can't really thank them enough. Um, Towards the end of the game, down the stretch, it came down to getting key defensive stops, and they made some that changed the game,
Hmm.
around, like, completely. The way we lost hurt the most because we were just seconds away, and it doesn't help, that it was in our home gym, and that's what really hurt me the most too, because it's like you got to defend your own turf,
Yeah.
and that was always something I had growing up. Like, don't ever lose a home game, because that would just feel different. Um, but the best thing we could do is just learn from our losses and come back better from it. The most important takeaway is that we know how close we were to winning the championship, and now we know how much it takes to get there now. So,
Exactly.
like, it's like by just setting a standard. So unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to take on that challenge with
Hmm.
my brothers this year, but unfortunately, my senior year, well, I'll always be watching, um, from wherever I end up.
Yeah.
I know they're gonna do well under Coach Highland and that staff, so I really wish them the best.
All right, 100%. And I'm sorry that you can't have that season. And for those who don't know, Romello Ford is a senior. He is eligible for one more year, right? Like he could play one more year. But the fact that you're going to graduate doesn't really make much sense to you, at least personally, to I guess postpone graduation to play one more
Right.
year as a Bloodhound. So I do
Yeah.
apologize. You won't be able to make that run. But good luck to John J. Bloodhound, and hopefully they listen to your advice and take that next necessary step. So
Definitely.
you know, cancellation, COVID-19, it's been a crazy year in our lifetime.
Right.
How has 2020 been like for you? Like, what has it taught you?
And 2020 has been a crazy year. To all the social injustice that's been going on for decades, and now hitting mass media, to COVID-19, the presidential election, Kobe
Yeah,
passing. It's just been
that's right.
one
Yeah,
for the
he
hit.
passed away early in the year. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
It's definitely been one for the history books. Um, it's been um, it's something that I was telling this to my mom the other day too. Like, it's something that I would, like, most likely tell my kids about. Like,
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
um, but for me, I just stayed positive and hope for my family and friends to stay safe. Most importantly, um, during the quarantine, I took a lot of time for myself to just self-reflect on where I'm at and, where I want to be. Um, I got into a few certain things. I read a lot. I watched videos. I watched film on the season. Talked
Okay.
to a lot of family members. It was just time for just reflect, honestly.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You touched on a lot of things that happened in 2020, the racial injustice. Obviously, the election just happened a near month ago. Um, John Jay, held a panel with students and student athletes regarding the election prior to, election night. Um, and, they highlighted you, and you spoke about the underrepresented communities and the responsibilities of community leaders. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that topic and why you mentioned those things?
Yeah, sure. The panel I was part of was a great experience. I learned so much on voting, why it's important for the future and our youth to not only just vote for the presidential election, voting for our Congress
Hmm.
representatives as well. It actually impacts us the most because it directly affects us um, in our own communities. We are the ones in those communities that need change. So for us to know anything about them is a disservice because we'll be missing out on opportunities that have a positive effect on us at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I'll hold myself accountable. I'm not too sure about any of the, you know, district leaders in our
Hmm.
communities, that's for sure. And you bring up a good point. We definitely have to do our research because those do impact us directly more than, President-elect Biden or, the president that we're having right now, Donald Trump.
Right. Hmm.
Um, but, thank you for that. And I do appreciate it. Romello, we are almost done with this conversation. So thank you again for joining me today. But I do have one more question for you. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
It's a good question. Uh, Hopefully, I can see myself living comfortably with a nice family, having financial freedom, and it's paving the way for my kids to be successful, so they won't have to go through the struggles that I went through by creating generational wealth.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that, and best of luck to that. And hopefully, when the time comes, you'll be exactly where you want to be. Again, Romello, thank you so much for joining me today. Do you have any closing remarks before we end this conversation?
I just want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody in John Jay, staff, faculty, student athletes, CUNY sports. Everybody has a big impact on my life, the whole college. Yeah, I just want to say thank you and hope everybody stays safe. Go Bloodhounds.
Yeah, go Bloodhounds. Again, Romello, thank you so much for joining me today. Good luck. Again, congratulations on your last year as a John
Thank
Jay
you.
College student, and good luck pursuing your master's degree. Thank you all for continuing to support this feature. I've been having a blast getting to know our student athletes on a more personal level from our conference. Just a reminder, the winter feature goes up every Friday on the website, cunyathletics.com, as well as on our social media feeds by searching CUNY Athletics. For Romello Ford, I'm Eltris Chavez. And until next time, cheers.